that go live button. See, it says we are live. So many of you might be just popping in right now. So you know what that means. It's time for that wonderful intro.
That is fantastic.
Yay! Yeah. So no, we are live, and if everything's going right, and I know it should be because we take care of it, it is not just streaming right here on YouTube. It's streaming over there on Facebook and over there on Facebook as well. Wait, I did say two places on Facebook. It is on the TMV Cafe's Facebook page, and it is on Pairanormal's Facebook page.
Yay!
I had to push to make it happen, but we got it. We got it. And I just got a response back to an email I sent somebody earlier. So yes.
And Wolfie's here.
And Wolfie's back. So let me go ahead and do that. If you guys don't remember, the Pairanormal is with Annie and myself, and we have always had some wonderful people in here. And I'm bringing some blasts from the past. So let's start off with Juan Valdez's #1 customer, and that is Miss Pam.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Pam.
Yes, and I'm drinking coffee.
Right? Everybody's like, who's Juan Valdez? I don't know. The guy with all the coffee. Come on now.
Right?
And we're bringing in our mysterious guest right down here below us. I've got a blast from the past that I want to bring up to see if you guys might remember a little bit about who this guest is. Let's see how well this goes across.
Do you like to be touched in the dark?
Don't touch that.
Who turned the lights off?
How would you like to see my full-bodied apparition?
Here's the light switch.
Oh, God, turn it on. Baby. Paranormal apparitions better seen in the dark.
Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern.
It's Werepig approved.
Ah, yeah.
That is an old one. But again,
yes. A blast from the past. And everybody's like, oh, man, I missed that. I have a feeling I'm putting it back up, but we got to redo it because, yeah, we get a comment from the chat room. I roll. But yeah, we've had some great stuff. So if you guys didn't recognize it, that was Larry's voice down there. And some really cool stuff that he's been doing we're going to talk about. But if you guys don't mind, first, you got to bear with me. I have been sick and, battling fever, and every now and then I'll try to catch my breath. So you'll see that. And I'm going to try to keep the smile going like I always do. But I got some really bad news today. And, I have to pay tribute to him. For those who don't know, one of my relatives, Byron Bradfute, so you can see me standing next to him in the picture over here. He used to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Make Pam feel happy.
Yay! Well, sorry.
Yeah, well, I just got the news today. He passed away from with complications from the COVID.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Breaks my heart because he's an amazing guy. Oh my God, this guy would he'd light up a room. He was such an awesome person, and so I know he's up there with the rest of whatever team he's going to be on. We'll call it the All-Star team, but and I'll get to see him again in the future. But he'll be missed. He was such a wonderful person. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's start off. I have to do this, Larry. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Yeah, he is. Don't lie.
No.
Sure.
So you saw him with the mask. I could go to his Facebook page and pull up some pictures, folks. But he's been doing some voiceovers and pirate work. You heard me right.
I knew pirate. I didn't know the voiceovers.
Yeah, well, explain that, because I was told it was voiceovers, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying that right.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about as far as voiceovers. I haven't been doing anything like recorded for.
Is it voice acting then?
Yeah, well, kind of, sort of. I mean, what we usually do, and what I've been doing for the last few years, is been performing with a group called the Sea Dog Slam.
Right.
And we do, we write our own pirate themed poetry. We also do some steampunk stuff and some what we call adventure poetry. And we go to different events and we dress up in pirate garb. There you go. There's a picture of me reciting it at one of our events. I think that was at Pirates on the Prairie a couple of years ago. And we go and we perform and we recite pirate poetry for people. And believe it or not, people enjoy it. So,
I mean, I know you have a blast because there's, like I said, I can add pictures to show, some of the fun that you have. You get to go out and do something a lot of us don't quite get to do on a regular basis, which is dress up and okay, yeah, tomorrow is a day to dress up. But
sure.
You get to do it every day.
I like to find lots of the occasions and reasons to dress up in fancy costumes. So,
right.
That's another one. That's one of my older pirate outfits there. And I've gotten my wife, Allie, has, she joined the Sea Dog Slam crew a few years ago. And she's performed some poetry at some of the events and stuff with us as well. So, got her involved in that. She does great. Right. She's written some really cool poems and recited them. And she doesn't get into it maybe as much as I do. I go full bore into it, but it's a lot of fun. My pirate persona is. The name of the character who I'm performing as is Lars Shortshanks.
Lars.
Okay.
and it's sort of a way of paying homage to one of my favorite series of books, The Lord of the Rings, because if you remember from reading Lord of the Rings or from watching the movies, Aragorn, one of his names in addition to Strider is they call him Longshanks.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I'm short. I'm 5'2", so I'm definitely not Longshanks. So I'm Shortshanks.
I remember when we first met, you were like, "Oh,"
and you're tall. So
yeah, I'm 6'2", so I was like towering over it, Larry. My wife's like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah. But no, I mean, I think it's cool. I got to throw one more up because I mean, here's that. The look. But now I noticed. Did you trim the
goatee?
The yeah. No. He still got it. But I noticed in some of the pirate pictures, you can see where he curls his mustache.
Yeah. I'm wearing it down right now, so it's just casual mustache. But but yeah, when I get in the pirate or the steampunk outfits, I get the mustache wax, and you put the wax in the ends of the mustache and you curl it up into those little curls, those little handlebars.
Right.
And if I can kind of tease a little bit here and kind of train a little bit, but you got to get the wax in there to get that nice, tight, sharp, pointy curl like that snaggy mustache.
Yeah. I've never quite. Well, I've had it, but never that long. My beard was long. It was so long. I had neighbors who used to think that I was part of the duck group, whatever those people are.
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm like, no. That's not me. I'm not one of those people. I mean, I've got. But then remember I said, if you guys notice, let me see if I can go back, bring that picture back up. I think I already
long hair.
Yeah, I did.
I remember when you had long hair.
Yeah, I had massive long hair. And when that they had the issue with the thyroid, I was I looked like somebody who escaped from a asylum. I had patches of hair missing.
Yeah,
You got a hold of the razor.
Yeah, I got a little bit of hair.
Oh yeah, you do. You got
I take it out of the ponytail.
Yeah, I miss my hair. I will tell you that. I miss my hair. If it wasn't for no, never. Okay, so Evie's putting out there that she's questioning mullet. No. No.
Not.
Anyone who knew me knew I did not do a mullet. Heck no. I had the hair. I think 1 year, let's see, I might actually still have the picture, but I think 1 year I did the that cousin it look.
Yeah.
And posted it on Facebook. Actually, now that I say that, I probably could pull it up on Facebook and take a look and see. But yeah, and I'll be honest, I miss my hair. I want my hair back. But now I'm at a point. See, once you cut it down, it takes so long to grow. And in Texas, Larry can attest to this. In Texas, it gets so hot. If you cut it off, you just continue to cut it because it's just too hot.
Right.
But I'll admit it. I miss my hair. I see pictures of myself with the hair, and I think, oh God, what happened? But it is what it is. Times happen, and you change, and tradition was. Let's see. Let me go back. I want to. Don't quote me on the year, okay? I want to say that in one particular decade or era, what they would do is if you had long hair, you were rebelling against your families. And in doing so, the hair told what you were doing. For you to be accepted as one of the men, a man or somebody respectable, your hair had to be short. Now, when I say short, I don't mean it had to be like buzz like in the military, but it could not touch the shoulders.
Right.
So it could be long, but it could not touch the shoulders.
Right.
And so that's how the tradition of the hair was back then. I will say that I've had some fun pulling it up in ponytails, and my wife loved when I would do that, and it was all slicked back and ponytail. She goes, "You look like a movie director." I'll take that, Mom. I'll take it, no problem.
Sure.
Or not Mom, my wife. Don't tell her I said that. Can we edit that part out?
I didn't hear a thing.
Yeah. Speaking of edits, I have to mention, if you guys recall, last week we put in that little clip from SNL.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it did get flagged.
It did.
Uh-oh.
And I did contest it. So, all right, let's talk about EW's hair. Here is a wonderful picture of my long hair back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm not kidding. It was down to the center of my back. I had the hair.
Yep.
That's it for you.
Yeah. My Steven Seagal look. Thanks, Evie. So yeah, but I had the hair. I definitely had the hair. Well, let's stroke up the campfire here, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about,
oh, nice campfire.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to sit around a campfire and talk about some ghost stories and things that you would get around the campfire. Because what's the big day tomorrow?
Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What I heard.
that's right. So
It's also going to be a full moon.
Yep.
yes,
Full moon.
not just a normal full moon, a blue moon.
You have got to play that.
What?
Somehow. Blue Moon. Makes me want to run out and watch American Werewolf in London.
Oh my God, I saw it. Okay, we stopped through Walmart to pick up some medication, and I saw in the $5 bin American Werewolf in London.
Oh, wow. $5 bin. That's sad.
Yeah, well, what's worse is it was the very first horror movie I watched, and we just happened to have a dog who liked to howl. And he would howl outside my window after watching that doggone movie.
Well, I mean, that movie's what, almost 40 years old now, right?
Yeah, isn't it about that old?
Came out in, I think, 81.
Right. So,
Yeah. Gosh, that makes me feel old.
Right.
So, I mean, that movie's been around a while.
Yeah, it has.
But it's a classic. It'll always be a classic.
Rick Baker is fantastic with his special effects and makeup.
Hey, no. If you want to go with the best special effects makeup artist, come on.
Tom Savini is my hero. He's hanging on my wall. You want me to take it down? Hanging. I got an autograph picture of Tom Savini.
We've got a friend of the show.
I love that man.
His name's Chris. I'll just leave him as his first name. Who actually trained under Tom Savini. He went through all that, and so he does all the special effects makeups and all that. But
do I know this, Chris?
You probably do. He's visited us on the show several times. Well, not actually in the show, but like as a guest listening, and then he would comment in there. He's been following us. He's been following us since day one in Blog Talk days.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So he is a wonderful guy. Somebody that I would tell you that if you want to find out more, he's a person you kind of want to talk to get, the little tidbits. But
right.
All right, I have to point this out because we mentioned you mentioned certain things. Did you know that during the Middle Ages in Europe, witches, werewolves, vampires, and other supernatural beings were very common and often caught and burnt at the stake?
Wow. Did not know that.
Here's the interesting part. It was a standard solution for all these types of fiends who may or may not have, actually been criminals or have supernatural powers. Right. Now, we've talked about in the past, and I'll throw some of these up, actual medical situations that would make you kind of think somebody is this. But rather than relying on evidence and trying to get to the facts, law enforcement and other officials simply relied on their superstition and word of mouth to find and kill all the offenders that claimed to be any type of werewolf, witch, or other supernatural being. So I want you to kind of think about that, because I have a story for you tonight about a particular individual. I'm going to have a hard time saying this because it's in Latin, but it is Damnatio Memoria. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry to all you Latin people.
Right.
That's a dead language anyway, EW. It's okay.
Yeah, right. But the important part of it is the words itself mean something. The words itself is, as I said, a Latin phrase meaning condemnation of memory. In other words, it's probably the worst punishment you could do to anyone. The Romans would actually cut off the faces of the statues and stuff of that individual if they committed some kind of crime or something, and they were getting this damnatio memoria. Because it was a way to totally wipe them out, make them forgotten. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, and I'm hoping that if you guys are listening, you are listening with your lights on. Because this story also has that name. It later was called, the person later earned a different name. So, I'll tell you the name here in just a moment. Now, throughout history, many heinous crimes have been committed by many evil, troubled men and women. Some of the stories have survived through the centuries, while others have been but forgotten or left behind. The story of the Demon Tailor, also known as Werewolf of Chalons. You heard me right, Werewolf of Chalons. And I could be wrong on the name of the city or town, but you know me, I've never been great with names in the first place.
Yeah.
I still don't even know my name.
That's pretty sad, EW.
Right.
That's why it goes by EW.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's right. Well, historically, people believed in a thing known as damnatio memoria, which is a Latin phrase that means damnation of memory. This was the ultimate dishonor to criminals, that they would essentially be erased from history. In ancient times, this was much easier because there was less documentation, but as time went on, it became a much more complex process by association, a much lesser used tool in convicting and sentencing criminals. Because you're wiping out their history and all their stuff. So, you're like, well, didn't you? Oh, did we get rid of that record? So it's kind of one of those cases. Well, in the 1500s in France, this unnamed man owned a tailor shop in the heart of Paris. According to historical records, he would lure children into his shop unsuspectingly, where he would then torture, rape, and eventually kill them by slitting their throats. In the form of a butcher, he would dismember and dress the bodies, consuming the remains and disposing of the bones by bleaching them and hiding them in barrels. It was also reported that he would scour the woods looking for victims, reportedly in wolf's form, where he supposedly killed several dozen more victims. The total number of murders in this case is still unknown, but it was definitely a heinous case, and he definitely was a serial killer in a time when such a term might not have existed in common language. Think about it. We have serial killers today, and what do they do with serial killers today? They give them their three names, or most of the time. Actually, I think, it's just assassins that get the three names, because isn't it like Son of Sam and
the Green River Killer or something like that?
Yeah. So you're not really getting all three names now that I think about it. Yeah. Well, okay. So
get a few. John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, she just put that in there. So you're right. John Wayne Gacy. Now Sweeney Todd. Oh, okay.
Fleet Street.
She's saying this sounds like a little bit of a mix between, but no, the Demon Tailor was at this point. See, Sweeney Todd was captured. The Demon Tailor, to this day, is an unknown person. Now that's what
kind of like BTK. He was unknown until here, like a couple years ago.
Right, but they were able to get him.
Yeah.
During this time, when it happened, and part of it was because of the damnatio memoria, because they were wiping it out. They didn't want people to remember that. They don't, it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to give you some exciting news, but all that bad news, forget about it. It never happened type thing.
Right.
So now we got evidence, or would have had evidence, and it's gone. And Evie, Ripper-esque, but the problem about this is they actually claimed him to be a werewolf.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So you're hearing it correctly there. Well, in December of 1598, the man was arraigned on multiple murder charges. He was convicted quickly and easily, likely because of the superstitious nature of the case. Sentenced to burning at the stake, the man never showed a single ounce of remorse or asked for forgiveness. Even as his body burned, he simply cursed to the very end. The interesting part of this case is definitely the reported werewolf element. But it's even more interesting that he was convicted with such a lack of proven evidence. Although the bones were presumed to be human, he never confessed, and it's not clear whether officials determined the species or if they were just superstitious and acting on fear on assumptions.
Probably fear on assumptions.
Well, probably. After the werewolf of Chalons was executed, every single record of his trial, crimes, and his very existence were destroyed. Remember, here's the word that I'm struggling to say in Latin. The state decided it wanted no memory of this heinous criminal and the things that he did. For serial killers, after all, the fame and notoriety is what it's all about, I guess, in this, in some situations. But even in death, remembering and revisiting serial killers and their crimes is giving them exactly what they wanted. And back then, officials considered it very important to dishonor their names by eliminating them as much as possible from history.
Right.
Well, that probably helped to prevent copycat killers too, because you'll have people that'll do that.
I like that thought. I think that's is a great idea, because we do hear a lot of copycat killers.
Yeah.
Rumor of one situation was now this is just rumor. Don't quote me on it, because I know there's going to be people who say, no, that's not how. Look, there's many ways it's been said, but Jack the Ripper, some believed, was part of royalty, and to save the name of royalty, they sent him to the United States, where certain crimes similar to Jack the Ripper continued. Now, do we know if that's 100% true? No. We do know that America's #1 serial killer, the very first, was H.H. Holmes, and we have interviewed the relative. So, we know for a fact, we've talked about that in the past, and we've had that interview. You got to think about that.
Yeah.
How do you go about with the thoughts of what's going on if you don't know who the person is? I'm going to take the name and put it into the chat so everyone can play around with it and try to say it. But it's an interesting name. It has, as I said, it basically means that it's condemnation of memory. Basically, they're wiping out the memory, removing the names, from inscriptions and documents, and even large-scale rewritings of history. In what it goes is that the term can be applied to other instances of official scrubbing. The practice is seen as long ago as the reign of the Egyptian pharaoh.
You're gonna slaughter it again.
Here it goes. Pharaoh Hatshepsut in the 14th century BC. It's interesting. This practice was more commonly done with the Romans. But it's how its name coincided with the demon Taylor just blows me away. So, as we mentioned that, in a certain time in the Middle Ages in Europe, these witches, werewolves, vampires, and other supernatural beings were just common in a sense, and often burnt at the stake. We know about similar situations because you guys mentioned it, the Salem witch trials. Now, in that regard, the demon Taylor wasn't really all that unique. Of course, the fact that he killed as many as 50 people, the exact body count is unknown, but the point of the report, they did kind of come up with 50, puts him on a much higher level than other offenders. Another thing working against him is the fact that his sister, brother, and 2 children all were tried the same year for murder as supposed werewolves and witches that killed children. And all of them were convicted and burned at the stake. The sister was the only one who'd committed any crimes, but they were all executed because of their claims of supernatural abilities and the fear that such a claim inflicted on the general public. Now, France was just one of the many countries in Europe that was affected by mystical, potentially mythical creatures of the Middle Ages.
Wow.
Now, how is that for a Halloween campfire story?
That was a good one.
Long one, but it's true story too. That's the part that gets you. You look at the Salem witch trials. If somebody didn't like say, Annie gets mad at Pam and says, witch, she's a witch. The whole town would literally drag her out and start their trial. And it wasn't that hard for anyone to be called a witch and basically murdered. So, yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I was thinking that.
But they have witch, she's a witch. It's like, how do you know she's a witch?
Yeah.
And something about if she, what was it? If she floats.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember how it goes. Something about floats. If she floats, what else floats?
Like a duck. A duck floats.
Like, okay, so if she weighs as much as a duck, then she's a witch.
Yeah.
Some whole convoluted process, which was probably not that far from the truth of how they actually figured out how they thought people were witches. So.
Well, they also did the thing like with moles or something. If we had a mole or a birthmark, they would take a pin or a knife or something. If it bleeds, you're a witch. Of course, everybody's going to bleed like duh.
I was going to say, punk anyone with a pin, they're going to bleed.
Right.
You ever see The Mark of the Devil?
Well, the six
movie Mark of the Devil?
Oh, no. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't seen that one.
That's like from the 70s and stuff. It was crazy.
It was part of a tribulation series, wasn't it?
I think they had Mark of the Devil too, but
oh, okay. See, I'm thinking of a different one.
But this, I don't know what you're thinking of.
Well, there was a tribulation series from the 80s. I'm sorry, 70s.
Oh, are you talking? Oh, Faces of Death. You're thinking of?
No.
Faces
a whole different.
Bad. Faces of Death, bad. But Mark of the Devil was a pretty interesting movie.
Yeah, that's almost like sci-fi's versions of 1001 Ways to Die.
I used to like watching that.
Yeah, I watched it once. And there's this lady who's a painter, and she's nomming on her hair while she's painting, and all of a sudden keels over. And you're like...
Giant hairball or something?
Yes! I'm like, what? And they say hair doesn't digest. And I'm thinking, dude, do I need to, shave now?
Just don't eat your beard. You'll be all right.
Right?
I can do that.
Oh,
yeah, I have done it. I've shaved it down. I've done it. I used to.
Okay.
My favorite line from a TV series. It's on Netflix called Godless, and there's this sheriff who has that big stash, almost like Sam Elliott, and he walks in, and this other sheriff looks at him and says, I got a question for you. And he goes, what? He says, what are you going to do with that squirrel on your lip? You going to eat him or put him out of his misery? I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the way it goes. But yeah, I have to laugh at those because it's one of those situations where you don't know. It scares me because if we ever come back to the time where somebody can claim witch and we go through that situation again, how easy is it to die?
Not very.
What do you mean not very? They dunk your butt in water until you can't breathe anymore. You're dead. That's pretty easy.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, I guess what I'm saying is it's almost like taking your constitutional rights away because remember we have the ability to have a trial,
Right?
Because you're innocent until proven guilty. Now, unfortunately, we see right now a lot of people go through a situation of they're guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
So I don't. It bounces back and forth, but if we actually follow the way it's supposed to be constitutionally, then yeah, it's like that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the whole problem was the Salem witch trials came about before there was a constitution or constitutional rights. So that's why they were allowed to happen.
Right. And if you remember, even then, women didn't have rights.
Yep.
So if the guys basically said that was it, they didn't, that was it.
Not in the American colonies. They didn't have very many, at least. Not in the majority of societies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was dark times.
Very dark. I mean, our country's seen a lot of dark times, and I kind of wonder somewhat if we might come back into them, but I don't know.
Let's hope not.
All right, I got a campfire story for you.
Okay.
All right. A young girl's parents were going out for the night. And although she was still young, she thought, she was too old for a babysitter. So she begged and begged and begged to be allowed to stay home alone, even though her parents will, be out very late. Well, she promises to go to bed at her regular time and calls her parents on the cell phone just before she settles down into, to go to sleep and let them know everything's fine and that, not to wake her up when they come home. She'll see them in the morning. Okay, so she is almost asleep when she hears dripping noises. She gets up to see if it's raining outside, but the star and the moon are shining brightly. She returns to bed and she, closes her eyes and she hears the dripping noise again. Her hand is hanging off the bed and she takes comfort when she feels a wet tongue lick it. Knowing that her dog is under her bed provided comfort. So, the dripping noise continued, and she finally decided she must know what it is. The young girl gets up, turns on the light, and the noise continues. She keeps looking for the source, and at this point, she's digging, she's looking around. Places she could be. She goes down the hallway. She goes, checks the bathroom. She checks the sinks. She checks the showers. Nothing. Finally, she looks in her closet, and there hangs her dog, dripping blood, with a note that says, "Humans lick too."
Oh, gross.
Hey, that gave me the goosebumps.
Oh.
Yeah, Pam's not sleeping tonight.
Well, my hands
I
are never
will.
out. They're like under the pillow and stuff when I go to sleep. No feet out, no nothing. Jump into bed at my age.
I'm glad I don't have a dog.
I have 3 of them. If you couldn't tell, they're running around here.
And tonight, while you're asleep and your hand gets licked,
and I'm going to be cussing you out.
Yep, I'm going to hear it all the way from Kansas.
I don't play her.
I have to ask. This is the time where everybody plays all the horror movies of the time. Just because it's Halloween, they got to throw every horror movie out there. What's the best horror movie that you love to watch every year?
Well, we just watched last night. We watched Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
There's
With,
I've never seen that. I got
with
it.
our
I
8-year-old
think.
daughter, because that one's mostly family friendly. There's a couple of bad words in it, but it's mostly it's a PG, so that's a pretty good one.
Now you're mine.
Yeah.
Things I do, I like.
So that's actually part of it. But
Yep.
yeah, it was really good. I actually liked it. I heard rumor they were going to do a second one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got to watch the first. I got the DVD, but I've never watched it.
Okay, I am going to badmouth the company because EV put in there one of the best ones, one of the best classics of this time of the year, and continues. The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's what I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, don't try to.
Sorry, darling. Unless you have a DVD, they could happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have it.
Oh,
Don't
good.
try to watch it on Apple because
Very
they took
good.
it off of there, and I was not a happy camper with that. But it is available. You can find it on other streaming platforms. Thank God. But apparently, it's Apple who decided to remove everything Charlie Brown.
Humbug.
Really?
Yeah.
So they own the rights to?
Now they do.
No. How could they
No.
remove it?
I wonder.
They bought
they
it.
removed it from their platform, is what you're saying.
Well, who owns the Charlie Brown franchise? Is it Disney now?
Well, it's from what I understand, the Charles Schultz's now his children have been continuing to do the comic strip, from what I remember, but I don't know who owns the rights to the TV shows.
All right,
that I don't know. I don't know if that's still owned by a network. I would think so. But then again, these networks sell the rights to different streaming platforms and things at different times too. So,
well, currently the rights to the Peanuts are shared by DHX Media, who owns 41%, Sony Music Entertainment, who owns 39%, and the Schultz family, who owns 20%.
Okay.
So maybe they just finally said, well, no, it's not working that way. And now I'm seeing different. No, those are old. That's old. Okay, sorry. I saw a new report, but that was dated 2018, and that was 2 years ago. So, yeah, no. So, but it's going to be hard. I think you should be able to see your typically on regular TV stations, because I could have sworn I saw, what is it, NBC or CBS advertised it recently. So I'm not sure, but I mean,
it's usually CBS that runs it, though.
Is it CBS? Okay, so yeah, then that would be who advertised it, and that's who you would be. I mean, that was one of my classics. That's what I used to love. I would go and check out those things. But I have watched a few others off and on. I can watch a horror movie and laugh.
Yeah.
And the problem is I know too much about horror movies.
Right.
However,
you can see the glitches of the ones back then that you watch now. It's like, oh my God, I was scared of that. Really?
Yeah. Wait, don't get me wrong, because every time I watch American Werewolf in London now, I'm cracking up laughing and still thinking, I got scared of that.
Right.
I mean, the only part of watching Carrie back then, the only part that ever scared me was the very freaking end. You never expected that to happen. That was great.
Crap.
Yeah, it was the greatest thing, but that was it. Nothing else about it scared you. However, there are some good ones out there, and I have to mention, we're going to be talking very soon to some horror filmmakers.
Really?
Let me explain. If you guys have ever heard of Philip and Christopher, or let's see, hold on, I got to make sure I say their names right. I don't want to say them wrong. The Booth brothers is their names. I think it's Philip Adrian Booth and Christopher St. Booth. These guys, man, do they have some amazing things. We've played their music in the past. We've had permission to play their music in the past, and we've played it. But we've also had the opportunity to, well, as of now, because I've contacted them and we'll be getting them as a guest on the show. They've acquired the actual diary to the exorcism.
Really?
Yeah, if you've ever watched the movie The Exorcism, it really wasn't about a girl. It was about a boy. So they actually got the diary to the real situation. And recently, they recovered the box. It was sent to them. They recovered the box of all the priest stuff for the exorcism of what you guys would know from the movies-wise, The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That movie scared me. That really did.
I can't say that movie scared me. I felt bad for the girl.
It's creepy. I mean, with the clock doing what it did, and that was to me very creepy. It still creeps me out if I watch it.
Psychologists still say at some point that she had suffered some severe schizophrenia, and you have to understand both the priest and her mother were committed for murder. They were tried and committed for murder. So, was she possessed? Now, I did send out a message to one of our resident priests, which is Bishop James Long, and I want to confirm with him what we discussed in the past. But I could have sworn we confirmed that she was not possessed.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you have to understand this was one of those situations where it's a misunderstanding. So see, this goes all the way to the extent of if you watch the show on CBS Evil, where they send but what you get is the church, the Catholic Church, gets information. They investigate before they just say, yeah, we need to do it. There's certain events that they have to do. Now, you don't quite see what they really go through. Right. But there is a series of things that you have to go through to find out. And so, that's what it boils down to, is did this happen? Is this the situation? Does this really need to be the case? And then there you go. So it's going to be awesome to get a chance to sit down and talk with them. I don't know if we're getting both or just one, but we'll find out. And I'd love to find out everything that they've got going on, because you can, if you want to check out anything Booth Brothers, you need to go to I think it's Spook TV.
Yes. Yeah,
Spook TV, and you can find out a lot. They used to actually come out a lot of times on on Sci-Fi. I couldn't think of the name. But now Spook TV does everything, horror. And it's wow. They have some amazing stuff. And the Booth Brothers, well, these guys, they have some let's see, Christopher St. Booth and Philip Adrian Booth. Yeah, both of them. So I'll make sure I said their names right. And you'll find out that, some of the things they have. Now, let me tell you a little bit about them. Christopher St. Booth, one of the brothers I'm communicating with, he's a TV film producer, director, designer, artist, musician, entrepreneur, and photographer. He does some great photography. If you haven't seen his photography on his page, you can go and check it out. But they've got a lot of stuff that's out there, DVDs that you want to get your hands on. Let me see. Let me think. I'm trying to think of there was one that I've never got my hands on. that it was about haunted children. Okay, so one of the films that they've got out there, I'm gonna boop. Okay, I'm doing it this way so we can see it, so everyone can see it. There we go. That. This is called The Exorcist File Haunted Boy. Now, this is the true story. This is the documentation from the actual diary. So you're not getting, a sweetened story. You're getting the truth. You're getting what actually happened. And for those who don't know, the boy, he's still alive. But the reason that they changed up certain things about it was because they needed to, save the family. It's kind of like what was the Amityville Horror House? Do you know how many people kept going to that house? They wanted to see more. They wanted to. Oh yeah, no. After a while, you're just like, stay away.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I think what was it? There's 2 or 3 families that said that they couldn't stand it anymore because the people were just coming over and coming over and coming over.
They're doing that with the Conjuring House, from what I read.
Who, the Booth brothers?
No. I mean, people invading their space.
Oh yeah. You do get that, and that's sad because it's almost like people don't care. Give them privacy.
Your privacy.
Yeah, but they need that. I mean, if you can't give them their privacy, what are you doing? It's not. It's just not right. All right, so let's see. I have right.
So the diary from the Exorcist file, was it the diary written by the boy?
By the priest.
By the priest. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
By the priest who actually performed the exorcism.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, which is
that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I would want to go about it because it's one of those ones where you're just like, do I want to read this? Because what's gonna be, So yeah,
keep you up at night.
Now, if you want to get another one of theirs on DVD, this is a great one, The Obsessed. Now, this is based on the first exorcism. This is their first documentation series on, and it came out on Sci-Fi, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's another one. There's one with children, and I can't remember what the name of that one was. Huh? No. I watched both of those. I thought it was good. I thought they did a good job with the remake because it was a little more detailed, like it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
The Omen, right? Damien was from the Omen films.
Right.
Yeah, Damien was from Omen. That's right. Yeah.
I think they did 3 of those originally.
Did they do 3 of those?
Yeah,
I think so.
they did.
The original films, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about this.
I haven't seen if they've done a remake. I haven't seen the remake, but I saw the original films. But that's been years ago.
Oh,
right.
What is the remake?
All right, here you go. Do I get a scary picture? No, let's do that one. All right, there is a film out of theirs called Dead Still. Now, this one's about a camera. That's all I'm going to tell you. And
I DVR'd that the other night. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow.
Yeah. Give you an idea. These are actual shots from the set.
Oh, wow. Creepy.
Yeah. So if you want to know what the Booth brothers look like, let me back down here to where they're behind camera. Here you go. And so this is Philip Adrian and Christopher St. Booth.
Yeah. Chris is on the right with the hat.
And they are very well known to go into paranormal conventions as well. So it's not like they don't know the paranormal, because they do. They do talk about the paranormal, and there's some really interesting stuff. They were in a Houston convention one day, and I missed it. I was sad. I didn't get to go. I really wanted to because that was Paracon 2013. That's right. I forgot about that. So Paracon 2013 was the one that they were at, and who knows which ones, if they still do them, we'll find out. Is this all of them? All right, here is one more look for you guys. A lot of their stuff right now. Paranoia, The Incurable, The Exorcist Diary, Color Me Haunted, Ghost Orphans, Angel or Devil, Soul Catcher, and You Have the Devil's Eyes.
Well, thank you. I know I do.
Yeah, I knew there was something about it.
But don't tell my husband.
I don't have to. He's already told me.
Yeah, I know.
He's probably figured that out a long time ago.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he's probably, there's a couple of things that he said about her, but we won't say that. That's for another show.
Yeah, it's another scary show on itself.
Right. On the next episode of Paranormal, how to beat your husband.
With a frying pan.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's see. Can I give you another good ghost story? Ooh. All right, here you go. Alan and Matt were ghost hunters. They would visit old cemeteries and see if they could stir up a spirit from an old tombstone. They set up their recorder on a particularly large ornate headstone and prepared to begin. They were afraid to shine their flashlights on the stone to see the name engraved there, as trespassing in the cemetery at night was illegal. And by the way, most cemeteries, that is illegal. Okay,
yeah.
Just saying. They had crawled over the fence at the rear of the cemetery to avoid the caretaker. Well, Matt flipped on the button on the recorder and said aloud, "We would like to speak to whoever lies beneath this stone." In response, all they heard was the scratching noises that seemed to come from behind the tombstone.
Ooh, creepy.
Well, with a calm voice, Alan said, "Please tell us your name." And again, the only response was a scratching noise. So Matt said, "We only wish to speak with you. Please show yourself." Suddenly, both young men felt the air turn cold, and a tall, dark shadow rose from behind the tombstone. The shadow moved to engulf them. Alan and Matt had many encounters with spirits and were not afraid. Too late, they both realized the apparition meant them harm. The shadow swept down, engulfing them, and pulled them into the ground beneath the tombstone. The next morning, the caretaker and the cemetery found the recorder on the ground by the tombstone. He turned it on, and after each question, he heard the following responses. "Yes, I am here. My name is never spoken by the living. If I show myself, it will be the last thing you will ever see." The final message heard was, "I got you both." The caretaker quietly picked up the recorder, knowing he had the only evidence that someone had been in the cemetery and by that tombstone. He went to his tool shed and tossed the recorder into a pile with many others.
Ooh.
Yeah, I need to go check my locks. I'm just saying.
So what are you trying to tell us that little rattling noise at the door is not, it's okay, right?
No. I'm sleeping with all the lights on.
I have a feeling I'm going to hear about the electric bill.
Yeah.
See, this is the moment. See, you see Larry's okay with it. And he's over there thinking, do I tell him I hate him now, or do I wait until we're off the air?
No, I would never hate you.
I I would just say it now.
Right.
All right, Larry, we have a request from the chat room. They want to hear you tell a story.
Okay. Well, it's been a few years since I've done any paranormal investigating, but I do have a story I can tell from back when I did used to try to figure some of the paranormal stuff out. So my team and I, and it was 3 of us, we were at a site. I'm not going to say where or what the name of the site is, but it's an old abandoned town that was it was active back during the 1800s, old West town, and there's only one like building still, historic building still there on the site, the original building. So we set up voice recorders and a video recorder in this building. And we also set up a LED flashlight on the video recorder to kind of shine into part of the corner of the building. And we just set the video tape to run. We went and we checked out some other areas of the site, and then we're going to come back. So we're heading back to this structure, to this building, and we noticed that our LED light, it's like flashing on and off. It's like going like dimmer and then brighter, dimmer and then brighter. Well, this light isn't supposed to do that. It's supposed to either be all on or it's all off. So we're like, well, what's going on with this light? So we go in and we try to see if it's just malfunctioning or what's going on with it. But we can't get it to brighten or dim, by ourselves. So we figure maybe somebody's trying to communicate with us using the light. So we start asking questions, and we start asking if you can make the light brighter, or if you can make the light dimmer, and we start getting responses with this flashlight from something that seemed to be making this light do some things that it's not supposed to do. So we thought, okay, well, this is cool, but we could never hear anything. We didn't hear any voices or anything like that. But after we got done with the investigation, and I don't know, it was maybe a few days later when we finally got around to being able to listen to the audio from both the audio recorders and from the video recorder, we heard what sounded like a voice answering some of our questions on there that we didn't hear at the time, that the video and digital recorders were picking up, which is people who do paranormal investigation, we refer to that as an electronic voice phenomenon.
Right. Were they Class A or what?
Well, it's been so long since I've been in the field. Class
A is clear, like you have no doubt what they say.
Right. Okay. So this one was not entirely clear. It was muffled, but it was distinct enough that when we played it back, that it definitely sounded like words. It didn't sound like a noise or anything, and we were being quiet. There wasn't anything else that would have been making noise while we were listening to this. We were being completely quiet, except for when we were asking questions. So one of the things that I'm asking is, when we were doing this session is, I couldn't get it to brighten up the light for me. And so I asked, why won't you make the light bright for me? Do you not like me? And then the light went bright. Right when I said that, do you not like me? And then I was like, okay, so you don't like me. So I was like, why do you not like me? So what we heard back on the playback is, when I asked, do you not like me? And we got what definitely sounded like a yes, but it was very kind of whispery and hoarse. And then when I said, why do you not like me? It said haircut. Sounded almost very plain. Now, this is not when I had my hair long. This was back when my hair was still shorter. Right. But it was, it definitely sounded like it said yes, and then it said haircut. True story. Okay. I'm not making this one up.
Wow. That's interesting. I've heard different ones, but I've never actually heard the one for a haircut. I mean, I think the best one, like what we had when we had Greg on not too long ago, that he said that the spirit said she went to the bathroom, and so
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, really? We know where she went, right? So yeah. Real quick, I want to make sure before we run out of time, you have until November 10th to do this, folks. So I will pick it up here in a moment once we get out of the big screen. But if you see right here, this wonderful feast right here, this is what we're talking about. So you go to www.tmvcafe.com and help us make a donation and feed some people this Thanksgiving, because we want to help them out, especially since some of them have lost their loved ones and the soul, the breadwinners of the families. But most importantly, the reason that I'm telling you this is if you donate $50 or more, you can get your own real TMV Cafe coffee mug. And unfortunately, mine's empty, but I will fill it up after. But yes, you can do this. So for every $50 or more donated, we're going to send you a TMV Cafe coffee mug. We'll have them made and sent to you. So that's what we want to do, is try to help make a difference, feed some families this year, and do something good. Because, man, I'll tell you what, you heard me at the beginning. I lost my, a cousin, and I know other families who've lost their, loved ones, and it's not easy. And in this particular time, in this particular season,
yeah,
I mean, we're coming into the season now where suicide rates shoot through the roof. And I have a feeling, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. Please, for the love of God, let me be wrong. But because of the COVID, quarantines and the loss of loved ones and the holidays, I honestly think that we're going to see a very big rise in suicides this year alone. Probably one of the largest we've had since the Great Depression. I mean, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, but it starts to look that way, especially when we have situations that are this grave. So, help us. Let's try to put some smiles on people's faces. Spread the word. There is a YouTube video next to that feast. Copy that link and tell everyone to go and do that. They don't have to give us the $50, but if they give us something that helps feed these people, we want to do it. And we will, I've got a couple of professional photographer friends that don't mind following us and, and taking pictures of it, and we'll share it like we did with all the other events. We've done some great events over the years, the backpack drives, the breast cancer awareness events. I mean, we've done a lot. So let's do that, try to make a difference this year, and have some fun with that. Now, absolutely. I know we're kind of pushing time, but
there's a big
two more stories. I want to hear Pam's story, and I
don't have a story.
You gotta have a story.
I don't know. No.
You gotta have a story. In all your time paranormal investigating, you haven't run across anything?
Well, I mean, I've told you about the Gettysburg thing. Last year I was feeding the dog. I had her bowl on the dryer and was putting her food in there, and I see something go. Well, it was dark and went quickly across here. I'm thinking a spider or a cricket, which both would totally freak me out. And it was a penny. Well, I hate crickets. Now, this is a good horror story. My son knows I hate crickets. He's chasing me around the basement. I screamed, and as I was screaming, he threw the cricket, and it landed in my mouth.
Okay. I'm confused.
I am traumatized for the rest of my life. So.
I'm confused. Wait a second. You're afraid of crickets?
Yeah.
And spiders?
Yeah.
Yet your husband has this
snake. He's got a snake
in the basement, and you're concerned about crickets and spiders.
No, well, I thought it was a cricket or a spider, but it was a penny that was just rolling along on the end. The edge of the penny was just rolling along. I was home by myself. There is like nothing behind me. There is no place a penny could have fallen from, or anything. There was nothing. It was just, but this penny was just rolling across the floor. Came up to my feet, went doop, fell
you
right
said
back
in the washroom,
in her basement.
But is the washer and dryer down there?
In the basement, yeah.
Okay, I have. Oh, I have to look for it. There is a YouTube video. I'll try to find it. It's been a while because when I was working on my washer, one of my old washers, I found it. And this guy actually, I think it's either the washer or the dryer, but he takes the front panel off.
Oh, yeah, right. I can understand that.
All this money fell out of there. I mean,
yeah, but this came from behind me.
Oh, okay.
It came out of nowhere from behind me to my side and just rolled across on its edge and just fell over.
Evie, I'm not putting that comment up there because I love peanut butter. You're not going to convince me anything.
No, Evie. Wrong.
And I'll make it even better. Okay, I'll put it up there.
It's just more protein.
Well, exactly. And I like extra crunchy.
I do too.
Right? Now
what are we crunching into? No. Someone told me that about like fig cookies or like that. Those little thingies that you crunch are pieces of bug. Like, shut
I love
up.
Fig Newtons. Really? You're gonna go there too?
I love Fig Newtons. I don't care if they are. I'm gonna eat the damn things anyway.
For the majority of the world, their prime source of protein, it comes from insects. I don't know if everyone knows this, but a lot of the world out there, they eat bugs to get their protein.
Exactly.
I had bugs for lunch.
They are in abundance.
Survive in the wild. That's what they eat. And, and I have to admit, she puts in the chat room that there's nothing wrong with it. And it's not just California, but there is a lot of other places who do actually have cricket flour.
I don't think so.
I've actually seen some baking shows that have put that out there. So cricket flour does exist. It's a real thing. In fact, Cake Boss did it one time.
No.
Yes.
No, sorry, Charlie.
No.
No. Ow.
And you can make an omelet with ant eggs too. They're tiny omelets, but
how many eggs did you eat for an omelet?
You have to break to get that one.
Wow.
And how would you break them? Like,
you're making me think of the very first, or what was it? Meet the Parents. I can milk a cat. Anyway.
No.
All right, Pam, your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
Well, it's not it's about this house.
Okay.
I moved in here 2 years ago in August. I had not
It's been 2 years already.
2018.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's been 2 years yet.
Yeah, because Quentin was gone. And if you don't know Quentin, he's my son. He's in the military now, but he didn't get to help us move into here. But we got all set up. I was in here by myself. I don't remember where my husband was. He was probably gone to work or something. But out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody walk behind me to the sliding glass door.
Oh.
Talk about freaked out. I went into the other room real quick.
See, I wouldn't be afraid. Like you have the two little squeakers, but you have the big dog. Yeah, but you have the big dog.
The big dog was in the other room.
See, but that's the thing. Animals sense bad before it happens. So that's why they always tell you trust what a child or an animal might do. If an animal's, like getting violent towards a person or something, that person's a bad person.
Right.
Children sense the same thing. I've always heard this for years and years and years. And it's true. My parents have my mom could tell you a story where their Dachshund would not let this guy cross onto the carpet. He came in through the front. Larry, you remember my parents' home in Fort Worth, right? Did you go over?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you remember it just had that little tiled area when you first walked in and then you stepped on the carpet.
Right.
This Dachshund would not let this guy come through.
Ooh.
He was dead set. He was going to attack this guy. And mom and dad kept trying to get him back, but it wouldn't happen. Apparently, this guy had murdered a family up the road.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
The dog knew.
Well, my dog, the big lazy dog here, was in the other room while the little ones here,
Noisemakers,
were just sleeping. And I thought it was my husband walking back and forth.
Right.
That's why I got up and left to see if he was in the other room.
Right.
But he was sleeping, I do believe. The following day when I figured out he saw it too. I thought I was imagining things.
Yeah.
But we came to the conclusion the man that owned the house before us passed away in here, and he's coming back.
Yeah, he wants to make sure you're taking care of his house.
Yeah, well, he's probably not going to like what I'm going to do here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, warning, because, and like I know Annie and Larry can tell you the same thing, but most of the time anyone sees activity in their house is when remodeling happens.
Yep.
I haven't done any yet.
But you're telling me you're getting ready to.
Yeah, because I'm going to redo the floors.
Yeah.
So he knows.
Yeah, so get ready. If you sense some kind of things happening around that time, these are things you might just want to be aware of. I'm not scaring you. Don't remodel, but you sense more things. This is not an uncommon time for this to happen.
So far, I think when he was alive, I think he was a good man. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know him, but my husband did know of him. I do believe.
Right.
And
I will make a comment when we go off the air for a reason to go back and watch this show, because I saw something and I want to make sure if I'm not the only one. But we'll talk about that afterwards.
okay.
Not trying to freak you out, but if I did see it and then you guys saw it, then
I didn't see anything.
I did, and I'll point it out later. All right. Real quick question from the chat room, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
Scariest things to eat.
I
already said liver and onions.
That's what I was
saying.
Well, there's this fruit in Southeast Asia called durian. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. I've never tried it, but it is infamous for being really, 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 really strong smelling. Bad smelling. But from what I've heard, it tastes better than it smells.
Yeah, is this one of those ones where you kind of...
Yeah, I guess so. And it looks like a medieval weapon because it has all these sharp spines all over the outside of it. It's like spiky. So it looks dangerous, and apparently it smells dangerous. But I'm going to go with that one because that's the one thing I might not try just because of the smell.
What is it? Puffer fish, I think. Isn't that the one? If it's not cooked right, it can kill you.
Oh yeah, it'll kill you.
That would that wouldn't be that would be a dangerous one. That I wouldn't try.
I mean, you have to go to a place. See, I've eaten sushi. I've eaten a lot of things in my life, and yes, I can eat liver and onions if they're cooked right, but they're not on the top of my list. You know,
bottom.
Yeah, way at the bottom. But see, my parents raised me. You can't say you don't like something if you've never tried it.
Exactly.
Right.
So now, stinky cheese. I don't know. I love Gouda and I love Monster. And I know I didn't say it right, but
Monster.
I know. So I don't have a problem with that. I can't think. I love blue cheese. I love feta cheese.
Limburger?
Limburger
cheese?
I have actually tried it. It's not bad.
A strong smelling one.
It's a very strong smelling one, but it's got a very unique taste. And somebody said that the best way to have Limburger is paired with a particular wine. So it's the combination of the two that actually does it. So hey, you're listening to TMV Cafe. We're going to talk
food here a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
By the way, I do have permission, and we will be adding it here hopefully this weekend. But for those who love Hell's Kitchen, you ready for this huge announcement?
Sure.
Chef Nedra Harris does have a YouTube channel and is doing cooking stuff on there, and we are adding it to the station.
Yay!
Also, she is looking to start doing her show again called Comfort Cooking here on the station. And as the kinks get worked out, we will be announcing when she will be returning to do that as well.
Yay.
Because she was part of interviewing all the people, all the contestants on Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we were part of the Hell's Kitchen radio tour, and I look forward to seeing that again. So,
awesome.
But on that note, I think we better wrap it up. So, because I see poor Larry like looking at his clock, like he only told me an hour.
Well, before we go, I'm gonna do a shameless plug.
Go for it. Yes.
Go ahead. Go for it.
So there's an anthology that just came out that you can get on Amazon right now, digitally, and the print versions will be available soon. But it's an anthology that has several short stories and poems. It's going to have 3 of my poems in it.
Ooh.
And it's going to have some short stories and poems from some famous authors, people like Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft.
Wow.
And the anthology is called Island Terrors and Sea Horrors.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, so it's all.
That's not the only book Larry's in. He's also. Are you still part of the Heroes in Hell series?
I am still part of the group of writers that write for the Heroes in Hell series. I did not write stories for the last 2 books, just for various reasons of things getting in the way of getting writing done for partially. But I will continue to submit stories to that and may still get stories published in that series in the future. I will be
working on one soon, so I might get to be a part of one of those very soon.
Oh, okay. Cool. Very cool.
I just got to know the theme.
I think he was in TMV Cafe book too.
I was in, right?
Yes, he was part of the Pairanormal one, which...
Oh, yeah.
If nobody has seen it, there is the 2012 TMV Cafe Fun Book you can purchase on Amazon still. And yes, Larry and Pam both did the paranormal portion of that. So
right, yeah, that was good. I remember that was fun.
Oh
yeah, yeah. I've got a bunch of stories and poems out there. If you go to Amazon and look up Larry Ashley Jr., you'll find a list of stuff that I've got published out there. So. But yeah, had to throw that new one out because this one just came out. So
go for it. Yes. Also, if you didn't know, Pam, you've been asking for recipes, and that's how I know you never got the book, because 2 of my recipes are in there. The first one is slashing banana bread.
Ooh.
And the other one is put on icebox cookies.
I want both of those recipes.
Buy the book.
Yep. Buy the book.
I know. Isn't he mean?
Yep, and go buy a book with my poems in them. Island Terrors and Sea Horrors. It's edited by Ethan Nate.
To Larry's?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get up on Amazon real quick. And I will do that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Because my daughter got me a Kindle, but I really love the feel of actual books. So I'd rather buy a book.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I read books digitally. I love to collect print copies and read print copies.
That's not a bad price for Kindle.
Oh, it's a great price, and the book's I think over 400 pages long. It's
wow.
It's a long book. It has a lot of stories in it.
Yeah, sorry, that's a huge link, but yeah, it's it's the way Amazon's links are.
But it has some cool stuff in there. It has some stories and poems by editor Ethan Nate, who's a good friend of mine, who invited me to submit my poems to the book. And then it has some stuff by some classic authors whose works are in the public domain, especially Edgar Allan Poe, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Lovecraft.
If you want more of Larry's poems, you can also go get Poets in Hell.
Oh yeah, that's the
other one.
Yeah, now I don't actually technically have any poems in that one, but I do have a story published in that one. We have stories about various poets who have died and end up in this this fictional hellish realm that all of the stories take place in.
Right. And I'm posting that one in there for you. And just because I did it for those, why not throw in this one too for and apparently, if you got Kindle Unlimited, it's free, which is the TMV Cafe Fun Book.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go check that out now.
Cool.
Yeah,
I still have my print copy of that on the shelf.
Yeah, it was funny because when we were doing the 10-year anniversary about 2 weeks ago, I actually pulled that book down.
Right.
I was like,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud to say I'm in that one.
Yep. Hey, I'm
in good company with a lot of other people.
Well, I'm proud of everyone that's ever been a part of this station. You guys have done some great work and put together some amazing shows and a lot of fun. Like Dangerous Minds, I still recall a quote at the end of one of the shows. Naked.
I miss doing Dangerous Minds. We had a lot of fun with that.
We're actually talking about bringing it back, but once a month. So what we'll do is 1 week would be one show, a different show. The next week could be Dangerous Minds. The third week would be something else, and so forth. So this way, we weren't getting burnt out on trying to do the same thing every week because you know how that would go. So, and I guess I'll wait. We'll cut it off at the 30-minute mark. What do you say?
Okay.
Oh, sure. Might as well at this point.
You're right.
Well, we could do a public service announcement too.
Please do. What would you like?
Oh, go vote. Don't forget to vote, people.
Oh, yeah, definitely do that.
Yep,
but
vote.
If anyone is trick-or-treating tomorrow, please make sure everyone stays safe. All right, look. I hear a lot of people say COVID is garbage. It's not real. It doesn't do it. And I have talked to medical professionals, and some of them more recently, who have said it's not necessarily the COVID that's killing. It's the effects that it produces, such as pneumonia, and that is killing the people. Mm-hmm. So you might hear, oh, people died because of pneumonia. They got it because of the stress and issues with the COVID. Like I said, at the beginning of the show, I lost a cousin to it. We've discovered
last week. Look at my family.
Yeah, and I mean, we have other family members who've passed from it, and friends who've passed from it. And folks, this thing's no joke.
Nope.
So if you're going out, please do the things that we were taught. Keep your hands clean, wear a mask. But there's nothing wrong with having fun. So if that's not the best public service announcement I can give you, I don't know what else there is. And like Annie said, make sure you can go and vote. I forgot. That's just a couple of days away.
Yep.
If you
haven't decided whether to do it tomorrow or Sunday or Monday or Tuesday.
I voted early.
Well, I saw the line today. It was short, but we were just driving down the road from the grocery store and I was tired.
Did you know you can write your own name in on the ballot?
Really? Did you write your name?
All right, I want to be president. No, I don't want to be president. I'm sorry. I think God bless these people that want to do that for the service to the country, but you're nuts.
Right?
I have too many skeletons in the closet to run for
I do too,
office.
So they're not going to like
Well, I mean, I've organized them. They hang in order now. So,
right.
They hang in order.
Small, medium, large.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's the way mine are.
All right, folks.
Order. Yeah.
I'm not telling you yet what's happening next week because there is we're lining up the guest and I just need confirmation. So as soon as I get confirmation, for each one we will be informing you who's coming up next. But get prepared because we should be having a live guest next week and find out who it is. Until then, good night, everyone.
Good night. And thank you for coming.